Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to Toe Tags Metal Reviews, and today we're getting our final review of The Valley from Whitechapel. We just listened to The Valley for a week straight, many times over and over. TV Fish, take the floor.
Alright, so to speak about this album over the course of the entire week, I thought it was phenomenal. Wow, everything about this album is a perfect example of how a band can evolve their sound but still stay true to themselves. Because this still sounds like a deathcore album, that's for sure, and there's so many moments in it that are like that.
Yep.
But with the melodic tendencies of the album, especially in songs like When a Demon Defiles a Witch and Hickory Creek, it's such a new perspective, but it still feels good to listen to. And I really loved that. Every time I put the album on, I was enjoying it, getting into it, and I could get immersed into the atmosphere this album creates, and just does a great job of doing that every time.
Right, it's like even though they tried new things, the music didn't sound foreign to a Whitechapel fan. It's like, It still felt like Whitechapel, even during the soft parts. Like, they're not known for doing that stuff at all, and to hear them do it and it feel right means they did it right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
One big thing I kind of noted myself is when I shuffled this album, it flowed just as well as it did when I put it on from front to back. Like, the order of the songs didn't matter. No. It still got the point across. You'd think, you know, with some acoustic songs, with some clean songs on this album, you'd have to hear it in a certain order, it'd be awkward. Honestly, sometimes it would start with Hickory Creek and it was totally fine. Like, it worked perfectly for me, and just, that's really nice that the flow of the album is fine in the way that it's presented, but also in shuffling, like, it works no matter what.
Right.
So I thought
I felt the same way. I shuffled the album a few times. I was like, you know, this works either way. In our first impressions, I had a couple songs that were kind of I was favoring, which was the two main singles, When a Demon Defiles a Witch and Hickory Creek. But as the week went on, there's two more songs that actually started rising to the top of my favorite list. I'm just wondering if anything like that happened with you. I'll go into mine in a minute, but...
Okay, well, there was one definitely that did stand out to me more and more, and that is Third Depth. That is the third last song on the album. And there's a moment on that song where it gets quiet, all there is just guitar and Phil Bozeman singing I'm Not Stable over and over, and just the ambiguousness and the atmosphere of that moment I thought was amazing. Every single time it came on, it would just stand out to me more and more and more and more. So I really started to like that song more as the week went on.
Yeah, the ambience of that is beautiful. It's just, you gotta get just like lost in the song and you hear the words and you're like, this is deep stuff. Like, this is heavy stuff.
And it's like that throughout the entire album.
Yeah. That's actually a good example of, like, the song itself isn't super heavy, but it still has weight, right? And that you can say that about the other songs that are also not super heavy. They still have weight to them because of the lyrical content, because of the emotion behind it. Heaviness is not always about speed and aggressiveness or aggression and all that stuff. The songs just have weight. I don't know how else to put it, right? You feel the heaviness of the songs just through the emotion of the band.
I think a big part of it is the subject matter of this album being about Phil's mom.
Yeah.
And just how amazing he was able to convey his emotions through the music. It's just really heavy in that sense.
Yeah, I also looked up some of the lyrics, and although a lot of it's obviously up to interpretation, I kind of got the sense, and I don't know if this is true or not, but I got the sense that Phil had a bad relationship with his father, and like he hated his dad, and like, I don't know if that's true or not. Maybe I was interpreting it the wrong way, but still, that's deep shit, strong shit. You know, he was kind of like a mama's boy, looked up to his mom, and his mom died when he was young, and then he has this relationship with his dad that's no good. So it's a hard life to live, and you can hear that in the lyrics. Like, he's full of pent up rage and hatred, and he's bleeding it out for all of us to listen to.
It's really such a show, like this album. It's just really polarizing to just look at and marvel at the raw emotion that's gone into all these songs.
Right.
Wow.
A couple of songs that actually started to stand out to me more are Black Bear, which was another one of the singles they put out, but it was a lyric video. This song pounds, man.
Oh yeah.
The song pounds. Like, what else can I say about it? It's just so driving and so powerful, and you just gotta like rock out with it. There's nothing else you can do. It's just amazing. And the other song that pretty much became my #1 song, I think this song might have surpassed the other two, maybe because I overplayed the other two, I don't know, but The Other Side, which is Such an awesome song. The grooves in this song are amazing. Love the lyrics, love the riffs. The song structure is just great. Everything about it I just love. And I know you had a little bit of a reserved opinion on our first impressions, and I said I think over the week you'll like it, which is why I asked you the question first, if anything grew on you. Any thoughts on the other side at this point?
Honestly, you know, a lot of the songs kind of just flow. It's hard for me to like really pinpoint a lot.
Yeah.
It's just the album itself is the experience I find, and just everything about it that I kind of had some reservation to worked out. Like, I can't really talk bad about it now. It's just everything kind of elevated for me throughout the entire week listening to it. Like, it just as a whole went up for me. But to comment on Black Bear, I enjoyed that song a lot when we first listened to it in our first impressions, and I really like how it's I wrote on my notes that it's very jumping. Like, that's the kind of groove you'll really jump around to, and that's still there. I still feel the power there. But one big thing that gets me is every time is when he comes back into one of the verses, he says, "Father, forgive me for I have sinned." And every time that comes on, I love it. Like, that just moment just kept standing out to me in the song that's already, you know, really driving towards me. So,
yeah, one thing we also talked about quite a bit on the first impressions, but I don't think you can even give it enough praise is Phil's voice. And I'm not talking about the cleans. The cleans are one thing, but his growls are better than they've ever been. His harshes are better than they've ever been. I just feel like everything's so much more well refined. It just sounds so clean. I don't know if maybe they got a different producer, a different mixer or something, I don't know. But for some reason, this album just sounds so much more perfected in all accounts, instrumentally and everything. I have a couple maybe slight reservations on the guitaring. It's good, it's great, but not quite as technical as I usually like. It's a little more chord chuggy, which is fine. I love chord chuggy, but it could be a little bit more technical, which just adds more impressiveness to it. But anyway, that aside, the vocals stand out to me. Even though, like, even the simplest things, like he'll just do like an kind of thing, right? And I'm just like, it sounds so badass, a lot of reverb on there. I'm just like, yes, that was perfectly placed in the song. Whoever decided to put that in there deserves a raise, whether it was just Phil just doing it on the mic or whatever. If they say, no, we gotta add a little effect in there, whatever it is, awesome. And there's things like that throughout the album, little grunts, little growls, you know, and it's just badass. It's deep, it's visceral. I just fucking love it.
Another thing I want to mention that we did talk about last week was the drumming and how great it is on this album. Every song has something unique about it drumming wise. He plays different stuff on a lot of things, and it's just very fruitful. It's always kind of there. He's not taking too much of a spotlight. He's not putting too much into it. He's putting in enough that makes every song unique in their own way.
Yeah,
and that's just from a drumming standpoint.
His style complements the music, and it complements the rest of the band too.
Absolutely.
So it was a very nice fit to have him there. But you know what? It's time for ratings.
All right, so my rating, I think at this point it's pretty clear that I give this album my toe tag because it's just a wonderful, beautiful album, just so full of emotion. If you want a good example of what an emotional album is and what it means, listen to this album. Because I think it's heavy, it's hard, it's got so much raw human emotion in it that just is wonderful, like incredible album. So how about you?
You know what? You're correct about everything you said, and I would add to that and say, listen to the album, read the lyrics along with it, because that just adds an extra punch of impact to the whole feeling as a whole. It's probably without question, it gets my toe tag as well. This is a phenomenal album from beginning to end. There's really nothing bad I can say about it. I got no real criticism for it. I just basically loved everything about it. It's masterfully crafted. And they nailed it, man. They hit it out of the park with this one. Whitechapel gets 2 toe tags for the Valley, and that's
the first new release of 2019, may I add, to get 2 toe tags. We've been thinking how long would it take, but finally Whitechapel has shown us this fantastic, phenomenal
well
album.
deserved. Yeah, so you guys gotta check this album out. I know a lot of you listened to it already. We're getting a lot of people commenting saying they love the album. I'm seeing a lot of praise, so we know we're not alone with our feelings and our opinions, but as usual, still leave your thoughts below. Let us know if you guys agree with what we said, or if you have anything you want to add. But that's it for this video, so click like, subscribe if you guys are new to the channel. I'm Vile Self.
I'm TV Fish.
And we'll see you guys very soon on the next one.